Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand the closing action on the D Street. Remember viewers, it's a great day in the stock markets. We've seen historic levels for the Sensex and the Nifty in the intraday trade today. Even right now, if you see, there is a 225 point of a rally that you can see on the Nifty, 24,542, and this is purely thanks to the IT stocks today and especially TCS. TCS is seeing a rally of 7% on an intraday basis. This is following the Q1 results that TCS posted now yesterday. Of course, there is this entire sentiment that is getting bullish right after those earnings. So the entire index is now up 5% in trade. For TCS, this is the best day in 4 months that it has posted. It's now nearing its 52-week high levels as well. 4186 is the current level for TCS, a very strong 6.7% surge. And this is with huge volumes that's coming in on TCS as well. Let's look at the Nifty IT index as well. TCS has pulled up the entire index with itself. It's the top moving sectoral index, needless to say, nearing its 52-week high level again, and very close to that level. Apart from this is the mid-cap IT names that are actually joyous even more than TCS. Coforge, for instance, is the top stock within the IT index, over 8% kind of moves. In fact, this is also the stock that is the top mover on the F&O space. Emphasis, Wipro, Persistent Systems, Infosys, LTI Mindtree, L&T Technologies, HCL Technologies, Tech Mahindra, all upwards of 3% is the kind of move that you're looking at within the IT space. So it's thanks to IT that the markets have got another day to celebrate record high intraday moves. Beyond the IT, what else is actually doing well? Well, you see the Nifty oil and gas, media stocks, broader markets, the small cap index, FMCG, private banks, financial services, infra, pharma, all of them holding up strong. What's not contributing to the gains in today's trade? Realty is in the back foot, down by over 1%. We also have consumer durables, that's 0.5% down in trade. PSU banks, in fact, have seen profits at the higher level. Remember, PSU banks were in the green in the early morning trading session. Autos are also down by about 0.4%. The PSU index has also seen some kind of a profit being taken off. So NTPC, GAIL, NHPC, Coal India, they've all slipped. Steel Authority, BPCL, HAL also in the red right now. We have IOC in the red. Remember all these winners of yesterday, even PFC, REC, they're down in trade. BHEL down in trade as well. So this is perhaps what the street is doing at this point in time, or most of the investors, they're pulling in profits from these performers of the recent past, PSU stocks for instance, and putting in money in that underperforming index IT, and therefore you see the question will be whether this is a turning point for the IT sector and for TCS as well. But since we're talking about the IT space, I have my colleague Asim now with me, and let's understand what after TCS. Will the other IT bellwether companies continue to maintain strong earnings and therefore strong momentum on the D Street? Today in the evening, we will have HCL Technologies come out with the earnings, and Asim has all the expectations that you should have from HCL Tech and what are top brokerage houses expecting there. Take it away, Asim.
Thanks, Sakshi. So HCL Technologies is expected to report a 4 to 8% rise in profit on a 5 to 8% increase in sales. Sequentially, it is likely to report the worst numbers among Tier 1 peers due to offshoring of a large client and productivity pass-through for others. This is what analysts said. The firm is expected to retain its revenue growth guidance of 3 to 5% in constant currency terms for FY25. It may also maintain the EBIT margin guidance of 18 to 19%. For the June quarter, EBIT margin is seen expanding 20 to 40 basis points on a year-on-year basis. Coming to the brokerages, they have expectations from the HCL Tech results. So BOB Capital Markets said the firm is expected to post a 8.2% year-on-year rise in profit at rupees 3,822 crore on a 6.2% rise in sales at rupees 27,935 crore. EBIT margin is seen at 17.4%, up 42 basis points on a year-on-year basis. Axis Securities said the firm may report a revenue degrowth of 1.6% on a quarter-on-quarter basis in rupee terms and operating margin contraction of 55 basis points. It also added that investors would watch out for deal TCV, pricing scenario and outlook on growth, operating margins and PNP business. The brokerage sees profit rising 7.7% year on year on 7.6% year on year growth in sales. Another brokerage, Sher Khan, expects the profit for HCL Tech at rupees 3,534 crore, up 5.9%. Sales is seen rising 6.5% year on year at rupees 28,000 crore. The brokerage expects HCL Tech to report a sequential decline in revenue of 2% in constant currency terms with 10 BPS cross currency headwinds. Reported dollar revenue is seen falling 2.1% on a quarter-on-quarter basis owing to the offshoring of a large contract and seasonal passback of productivity gains. EBIT margin is expected to decline 70 basis points on a quarter-on-quarter basis on lower revenue. Back to you, Sakshi.
Right, thanks a lot, Aseem, for that update and expectations on HCL Technologies. Let's welcome our guest on the show, viewers, to really understand where our top market experts really placing their bets in this record high zooming kind of a market. Ruchit Jain, lead research analyst of 5 Paisa, is now with us. Ruchit, clearly an IT day, and what a celebratory day that we have seen today. A 7% uptick on TCS, a 5% uptick on the Nifty IT index. Beat the large caps or the mid cap, all of the IT space stocks are buzzing in trade like how. Were the earnings as promising as the reaction is? Is this a comeback of sorts of the IT space, a turning point for TCS therefore? How are you looking at the entire space and scenario?
Yeah, hi, very good afternoon, Sakshi. So Sakshi, if you look at the markets, then our markets have seen a decent uptrend in last few weeks post their election results outcome. And the good thing is that some of the sector have kept supporting the index. Earlier it was private sector banks which initially took the leadership. Then we witnessed a good momentum in the oil and gas space, and now from the large cap space we can see that IT has now taken the leadership post TCS results. So what would happen over here, that the uptrend remains intact. Last 5 or 6 trading sessions, index has traded in a narrow range, which was more of a time-wise correction. It did not break its important support in this consolidation, and led by the IT heavyweights, now the uptrend has resumed. So we believe that until we see any kind of short-term supports getting broken, it's better to stay with the trend and look for stock-specific opportunities that are outperforming. Now coming on to the IT sector itself, I think if fresh funds has to be deployed after this good run-up in the markets in last few months, I think market participants will now look for such stocks where the up move has not been that high in terms of relative outperformance. I think IT is one of the space where we have not seen that high returns compared to the broader markets. So the risk reward ratio becomes favorable once the fundamentals improve over there or the outcome improves over there. So I think that's why I think fresh buying interest has been seen in the IT names, which could continue going ahead. So that would keep the momentum intact in the Nifty as well. Now the short-term support for Nifty has now shifted to 24,200. So we are advising our clients to continue to trade with a positive bias and keep trading stop losses higher. Right now 24,150, one can keep a stop loss below 24,150 on the existing long positions, and until support is broken, be with the trend.
Be with the trend, that's the focus. Okay, let's also understand from you, Ruchit, large cap IT firms versus the mid cap IT firms. Where are you finding stronger momentum that you can chase?
So I think it should be a mixture of both, because even large cap names have seen a good breakout led by TCS, Wipro, even Infosys to an extent have seen a decent pullback move from the recent swing lows. So I think these large cap names would continue to outperform, whereas within the mid cap IT names too, if you look at stocks such as KPIT Tech, Persistent System, those stocks are witnessing very high volumes along with the price support. So I think it should be a combination of both. I think one should be selective within this entire basket. And the names which I just mentioned, I think these would be the leadership in this would take the leadership within the IT basket.
Okay, let's see what else can we pick out. It's IT all the way. So top 5 movers will have on the Nifty, all 5 will be IT names. TCS, Wipro, Infosys, HCL Tech, LTI, Mindtree, Tech Mahindra. These are all the buzzing stocks. Even in the F&O space, you have Coforge, TCS, Emphasis, Birla Soft as among the top movers on the F&O back, and Wipro as well. Barring this, there is also some finance names that are making a comeback. So Manappuram Finance right now is buzzing within the F&O space. You had Shriram Finance that was buzzing in the early morning trading action as well. Beyond the IT space, within the FMC, within the NBFCs and the finance space, Ruchit, is there anything that you are looking at positively?
So within the NBFC space, L&T Finance Holdings is looking positive. We have seen a good uptrend in the stock, which is still getting continued. In buy and dip strategy, we are advising one should keep on in this stock. If we get any kind of declines towards 175 to 170 zone, so ideally that should be a good level to enter L&T Finance Holding within the NBFC space. Even Bajaj Finserv, we are keeping on our watch list. The stock has not given a breakout yet, but one can keep it on the watch list. The stock has been into a consolidation phase since long time, and in case if going ahead, if the stock gives a breakout above 1630, 1620 to 1630, which is the resistance zone, then we can see a good momentum in Bajaj Finserv as well. So here I would advise to keep this stock on your watch list, and maybe in during next week, if we see a breakout above 1630 on Bajaj Finserv, then it could resume a good momentum on the positive side.
Okay, got that. Let's again look at the broader markets and see where is the momentum. A lot of these stocks are doing very well in the broader market space. Inox Wind, it's 9% higher in trade today. You have Genus Paper, that's up about 9% again. KPIT Technologies, again, that IT theme is working. You have stocks like even SR Shipping, that's up and about. Almost 10% uptick can be seen on this one. IFCI, that's another one, 12% higher. HPL Electric is doing very well. Muka Proteins, a recently listed stock, that's up sharply higher, 14% up in trade, and it's at a 39 odd level. Remember, after it got a good listing, the stock has been pretty sideways. If we pull up the last 3 months chart, you'll actually see that Muka Proteins has not really been in news or has come in to fore, but after a long haul. So yes, just a 9% move in last 3 months, and there the stock is back in action today. Then you also have Sonata Software, again the IT space, that's moving up. Megastar Foods and Railtel, that's again buzzing about 15% higher. Let's look at the railway space, whether the momentum has spread across. So Railtel, let's look at IRCON, let's look at IRFC, RVNL to see whether the momentum is spread across. Titagar Wagons, Jupiter. Let's pull up all of these stocks. 5.5% higher for IRCON International. Let's pull up even IRFC and RVNL. Titagar Rail is soft today, about 1.2% lower in trade. IRFC, let's see that one. Not Jupiter Lifeline Hospitals. We have to look at Jupiter Wagons because we are discussing the railways pack. So we need to focus on, yes, Jupiter Wagons is flattish with a positive bias. Let's discuss with Ruchit if there is anything interesting within the railways, or is it wise enough to stay away from these wild moves that you are seeing on the railway pack. Ruchit, how would you look at the railway pack right now in the momentum?
So there's no doubt about the trend. Most of the railway names have been doing good along with the good volume, so the trend still remains positive. What we like have already moved higher. Stocks such as Railtel is there, Econ International is there. These stocks have very strong uptrend. So I think these could continue to move higher, but in terms of fresh buying, the stop losses are too deep for fresh entry over here. So I would suggest that if any existing long positions are there in the railway theme, one should continue to hold on and ride the trend. But no fresh buying in case if we get any dips in the stocks such as Railtel or Incon, which one should look to look for buying opportunities on declines. But not advising to chasing at current levels, since there are no proper stop losses over here.
Got it. Let's again look at beyond the IT space. What else can we pull up for our viewers? Oil and gas. Let's discuss this space also. Ruchit, is it wise enough to chase the momentum within the oil and gas space again today? Oh, Oil India, it's an Oil India day within the oil and gas space, clearly 14% higher in trade. That's clearly an individual that's been taking the entire index higher. Anything that you would want to say for Oil India and the other stocks?
I think this entire sector looks quite interesting. We have seen that this week, the stocks within the oil and gas space have witnessed good volumes. ONGS is one of the stock, where I think still this reward ratio is favorable for fresh buying. The stock has, although rallied in last 10 12 days from the lows of 272 through 300. But considering that the stock has given a breakout from a long consolidation phase at the start of this week, we think that there are more side for ONGC. So one can look for buying at ONGC at current levels, keeping a stop loss below the 20 EMA, which is around 285, and expect targets around 330, 340 kind of range, going ahead. So sector is quite good. Even Reliance Industries, if we see, the overall structure seems quite positive over there too. But still, I think one can stay with a positive bias, in stocks within the oil and gas space, and ONGC can be preferred for a fresh buy over here.
Okay, got that. So that's the oil and gas space for you viewers that you can keep an eye out on. Let's also see what else is buzzing. It's the media index that's buzzing, and within that it's clearly Z Entertainment that's been clearly the driving force. Remember, the company has announced the dates for board meet to consider fundraise, and therefore you actually see about a 6% move that shot up in the morning and it has held on to that one. Pharma index, let's look at any interesting moves that we can spot here. Dr. Reddy's is up today about 2% higher. JB Chemicals, Mankind Pharma, Zydus, Aurobindo Pharma, Cipla, they're all up buzz in trade right now, but thankfully no too much of excitement. The markets are now seeing some profits being taken off at the higher levels. We went up to 24,592. We are at 24,500 and testing those levels. Realty, PSU banks, I think it's the sell-off in the banking space that's coming in. PSU banks and financial services both have slipped into the red. The Nifty bank is now in the red, viewers. Flattish trade on this one. Ruchit, to you, Nifty bank turns flat. How would you trade this index?
So I would be very selective over here. Although the yesterday's low of Bank Nifty is a very important support, since this is around its 20-day exponential moving average. So if any positions are there, one should keep a strict stop loss below 51,750 on the Nifty Bank Index. And as you rightly pointed out, that the PSU banks have not seen any kind of positive move in last few weeks. So in fact, if you look at the post-elections results, the markets which have rallied, PSU banks has been one of the sector which has not participated in this up movement. Still, I think some more time-wise correction or consolidation could continue. So until we get leadership from stocks such as SBI, which has a breakout only above 870, I think PSU banks would continue to stay within a range and consolidate for some more time. So not advising to go long on any of the PSU banks over here. I think if we get a breakout above 870 on the SBI, then only one should look for forming momentum based longs on the PSU bank stocks. Otherwise, one can stay away from these names.
Okay, got that. So that's the view coming in on these banking counters at this point in time. What else is buzzing in trade? It's Reliance Industries that's coming back about 1% higher. So, preventing the markets to really slip away too much. Then there is also L&T that's up by about 0.6% odd. We also have the entire FMCG space buzzing. Let's discuss that with Ruchit. FMCG space for you, Ruchit. How are you looking at some of these stocks? Are the staples looking better to you? Consumer discretionary looking better to you? Today, Tata Consumer Products is up by 1.8%. You have Colgate, Marico, Nestle, HUL, Britannia, all of them, about 0.5% to 1.5% kind of moves that are being seen. But is there a momentum trade that could take place here?
From a positional basis, there could be some stocks which can perform well from your current levels, but we would like to stay with the heavyweights such as ITC, where we have already seen a decent price-wise correction as well as time-wise correction in last 4 to 5 months. The stock had corrected from a high of around 490 to recent swing lows of around 400, 410 range. Then it consolidated for a while, which was more of a time-based correction as well. So since the corrective phase has already been done in this name, I think the downside now seems to be very limited. So one can take limited exposure to ITC on any kind of declines in the range of 450 to 440, where support zone is placed.
Okay. A lot of these power stocks that are buzzing in trade today, renewable energy, other power stocks, how are you looking at some of these stocks? Inox Wind is up by 9%. You have SJVN that's buzzing only softly, but HBL Power, GE Power. 2 days back it was Adani Power, Torrent Power also making a comeback. How are you looking at the power space scenario?
So the long-term trend still remains positive, but in short term, I doubt no, we would see a continuation of an up move from current levels in no, some of these names, because the stocks have been in a consolidation phase since last no few weeks, and there are no signs of a breakout except few of stocks such as Inox Wind, which has seen a good price volume action today. So I think there could be some selective names which could outperform, but overall as a sector, I think no, some more time-wise correction could be seen in some of the power names.
Okay, got that. What else looks positive to you? Is there anything else that you has caught your attention and I may have missed asking you?
No, I think I would still, I've already covered, over stocks such as ONGC, which is looking quite positive from a positional perspective. So with IT names also, I think Wipro we didn't cover, where the stock has given a breakout with good volumes. So I think Wipro is one stock which is indicating a continuation of the uptrend could be going ahead. So I think one should stick with such heavyweights where the risk reward ratio is now still favorable and the stocks have not given any that high returns. So, advising to maybe make some shift from mid cap and small caps to some of the heavyweights at current levels.
Okay, okay, got that. So that's the view coming in on ONGC. Let's see if there is anything interesting other than the stocks that we have seen. Okay, there is also some buzz coming in within the hospitality space as well. Specialty restaurants up by 3%, Barbecue Nation up 2.5%, Roy Docket Hotels up a percent as well. It's again the cement makers are also doing well. So it's Dalmia Bharat that's up by about 4 odd percent. The rest of the stocks here up by about half odd percent. Let's also discuss the fertilizers and the chemical space with you. Rujit, and do tell us if you have looked in at some of the opportunities that gave some kind of a momentum within the last few trading sessions. It was Chambal Fertilizers, before that it was Fact, RCF in fact hit about a 10% uptick and at a record high in trade even today. NFL was sharply higher in the morning trading session. Let's see if all of these fertilizer stocks are still holding up. Yes, so Fact is in front of you, 3.5% higher. Let's pull up even National Fertilizer, 2.5% higher. It sold off from the morning highs. Let's look at RCF2, Chambal Fertilizers. Let's look at the entire basket, Deepak Nitrite, and ask Ruchit which is his favorite space to be in. Is this a favorite space to be in, Ruchit?
Frankly, not. No, we have seen some bit of volatility in last few days. And if you look at the stocks, then I think another stocks already had a decent run of stocks such as RCF. If you see last 1 month, the stock was at the start of the June, it was around 140. From 140, it has already rallied to 240. So I think when in the short term such big gains are there, there are chances of some consolidation happening. So we might see some consolidation or time-wise correction going ahead. So not one sector where I would advise fresh buying. A selective chemical names such as Deepak Nitrate is there, or even Aarti Industries, which is consolidating and just seems to be time-wise corrective phase within a trend. I think going ahead, if we see any kind of positivity returning to the chemical space, then stocks such as Deepak Nitrate and Aarti Industries can be outperformers.
Got that. Okay, what about the pharma space, Ruchit? Are you looking at any opportunities within this space? We were looking at Lupin at an attractive zone a few days ago. Before that, even Sun Pharma was buzzing. Divis Laboratories and these diagnostic makers are also coming back into fore. How are you assessing the momentum within the pharma space particularly?
So the trend looks positive for some of the names. No stocks such as Lupin has recently given a breakout from a consolidation phase, but the breakout zone was above 1700. The stock is now trading around 1800. So if you get any kind of declines towards that 1740, 1720 zone, I think that's where the risk reward ratio could again become favorable, because many times when the previous resistances get broken, those become support on any kind of dip. So Lupin is one stock where buy and dip strategy should be kept. Dr. Reddy is another name where positional charts are quite positive. The stock is forming 52-week highs, is at new all-time highs today. The up moves have been supported by good volume. So I think these couple of names can positionally show good returns even from current levels. But as I said, they are buy on dip names. So if you get any kind of declines towards the support, then one should look for buying opportunities in these pharma names.
Got that. Let's circle back to the IT names because it's clearly the focus of the day, be it the large caps or the mid caps. It's a momentum that's all across the space. I wanted to look at KPIT Technologies and ask Ruchit your view. After a long haul, this stock has started to perform. For those who've been sitting on it, they will be definitely cheering a move that's as strong as today. But for those who may be looking at KPIT Technologies as a story that has done very well in the past, what would you tell them?
So I think yes, it has been a relative outperformer within the mid cap IT space, and I think that outperformance could continue going ahead also. Today again, the stock has given a breakout above its previous high, which it formed in the month of February. And if you look at the volumes today, they're quite high compared to its daily average volume. So whenever generally the stock gives a breakout compared with higher than average volume, those are the signs of strength where outperformance could be there. So I think yes, within the IT names, structures is quite strong. If anyone is looking for mid to long term perspective, then I think no any kind of dips if we get, then this is a good stock to be in. And if any long existing long positions are there sitting in good profits, we should continue to ride the trend, and the profits might should increase going ahead.
Got it. I was taking the name of Genus Paper. The entire paper packaging space seems to be a buzz with action. Of course, Genus Paper is leading that gain. But even Sri Rama Newsprint, DOMS Industries, a recently listed stock, Sesha Sai Paper, JK Paper, Orient Paper, Ruchira Papers, they're all abuzz in trade. We also have the packaging names like TCPL Packaging, for instance, Huhtamaki India, that's up by 2%. You have High-Tech Corp, that's up by 7.5%. This entire space seems to be a buzz with all the action. What looks good to you, Ruchit, within this space?
So yes, I think paper stocks have been in momentum not only today but in last 2 or 3 weeks. These stocks, some of the paper names have seen a very decent run up. GK Paper, where the volumes are very high in the recent up move. This is one stock where if we get any kind of declines, then one can look for buying opportunities. But no, as I said, that the stock has already seen a run up, so it's a buy and dip stock, not to chase at current levels. The supports would come around 520 to 500 and 500 range. So if we get any dips towards that support range, then one can access JK Paper for fresh buying.
Fair enough. So that's the view coming in on the paper and the packaging space, viewers. It is clearly the sell-off that's coming in at higher levels from the banking space that exerting some pressure. The mid-cap index has also slipped into the red. Remember, we hit a record high level in the mid-cap index in today's trade itself. So profits booking at higher levels, but there is no budging in action from the kind of moves that we are seeing on the Nifty IT index. Still up about 4.5%. TCS still up about 6.5%. Wipro, Infosys, HCL Tech, LTI Mindtree, Tech Mahindra. These are the stocks that are ruling the roost at this point in time. Small caps are still up and about 0.14% higher in trade. A lot of these stocks within this basket, largely again, they're all from the IT space that are doing well at this point. Let's discuss one more space with Ruchit, and that is the telecom space. A lot of these updates came in from brokerage houses on Bharti Airtel, on Bharti Hexacom as well in trade today, Ruchit. And of course, Vodafone was in focus. It's been talking to a lot of people, fundraise happening right there. Then there was this entire buzz around that probably a Jio listing could take place in the last few days, and therefore Reliance Industries was a buzz in trade too. How are you looking at the telecom basket again? Today, Bharti Exa is up by 4%, RIL up 1%, Bharti Airtel also flat in trade at this point in time.
So Bharti Hexa is recently listed, so it's very difficult to give any technical view on that since the data is limited. But yes, Reliance Industries, we spoke, even when we were talking about the oil and gas space, that the broader structure seems to be quite positive. After a consolidation, the stock gave a breakout recently with good volumes. Again, the supports are still intact. So I think going ahead, Reliance would continue its outperformance, and it may be a slow and gradually move being an heavyweight. But no, it's a good stock being if one is looking from a midterm perspective. Bharti Airtel, I think for short term it has entered some consolidation phase, but it just seems to be a time-wise correction within an uptrend. So it does not seem that the stock would see any significant price-wise dip from current levels. So one can look to accumulate in a gradual manner where one can start buying at current levels, and going ahead as the time-wise correction continues, or if we get towards the support end of the range, which is 1370, 13 no 60, 18, 1380 kind of zone, then one should look to average and buy more over there. So the mid to long term trend remains positive, but I think it's just a short term consolidation which could be seen as a time wise correction within an uptrend.
Got that. 3:25, ladies and gentlemen. We are just about 4.5 minutes away from the day's close, and we are hoping for that 24,500 mark to be retained towards the closing session, as we are pinning our hopes and crossing our fingers. Let's discuss with you, Ruchit, how does one really prep for tomorrow now? Between Nifty Bank, where will the action sustain? IT stocks, how will they perform? Will there be a carry-on trade? And any two stock ideas that you can share as BTST, STBT?
So as of now, I think on the index front, I would suggest to stay with the trend, right? We have not seen any kind of reversal signs for now. The initial support for tomorrow would be seen around 24,350 first, followed by a swing of positional support around 24,200. So these would be supports to watch out for. Any kind of dip towards 24,350 if it comes, then for intraday one can look for one can review for taking some contra buys over there. But from a stock specific buying perspective, I think as I said at the start of the show also, this is the time to focus more on heavyweights rather than mid caps and the small caps. ONGC looks positive, where one can look for fresh buying positions over here. The stock can be bought from a trading perspective with a stop loss below 297. This is just from a BTST perspective, and expect on the higher side levels around 318 to 320 range.
Okay, got that. Thank you so much, Ruchit, then for being with us on this very special edition and sharing all those thoughts and ideas and insights as to how should one read up the current scenario in the markets. Always a pleasure to host you with us. 180 points higher in trade, viewers. On the Nifty, we've sold off from the high point of the day. It's been slightly choppy after that for sure. But when we look at 24,500, that gives us hope that probably this rally still has some more legs to go. Something that was being under question over the last 4 trading session, when the entire markets were facing some kind of a consolidation. But like it has been happening even over the last 4 weeks, there is one sector or the other, one stock or the other that is stepping up, putting their hands up and taking the baton and driving the markets higher. And today it was the turn of TCS and the IT stocks to take that pattern in their hands. Therefore, you see a 24,500 on your screen, a 0.7% of an uptick. The Nifty Bank holding up into the green, thankfully, back into that green tick. 52,314, just about a 40 point of an uptick for the Nifty Bank. Screen was almost frozen in front of you. Sectors, IT 4.4% higher. That's the way it is going to be shutting shop. Media index about 2% up. Oil and gas 0.5% higher. FMCG, infra, private banks holding up strong, and the small caps. Realty dipped. Consumer durables, autos, those dragged in trade. Top movers on the Nifty. TCS, no prices for guessing. Closes about 6.5% higher. Best day in 4 months for TCS. A sharp rally after the earnings. Wipro 4.5% higher. Infosys 3.4% up. HCL Technologies 3.2% higher. Tech Mahindra, LTI, Maitri, Shriram Finance, the top movers on the Nifty. On the lower side, Maruti dragged. Remember, 1% lower. There has been a substantial run up in Maruti over the last few trading sessions. Today was the day when it saw profit being taken off. Divis, Asian Paints, Titan, Hindalco, Apollo Hospitals, these were the drags in today's trading session. F&O movers, Coforge, TCS, Manappuram Finance, Birla Soft and Emphasis. On the lower side, BHEL dragged within the F&O space. There were other losers like even Chambal Fertilizers, IOC, ABB India, Vodafone, Astral. These were the stocks that dragged in trade. But that's the space for you, 24,511. We hope that this is the final figure, 195 points higher in trade. A spectacular day has ended, and just like how we began saying in the morning, thank God it's Friday. A great way to end this week. week that was largely flat, but some uptick coming in because of today's move again. We hope you have a great weekend, but on Monday when we meet, there'll be a whole host of earnings that the markets will react to, and of course the macro data that will be coming up in the evening as well. Stay tuned to Business Today Television to even catch all the action beyond the stock market hours.